Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hi, Elaine.
Good to see you. I am sitting at Transplant House in what we call the Temple-Tifereth Israel living room, which is where we do our programming, and it's so named because you and friends in your congregation supported the outfitting of this space, and in fact, half of this house that I'm sitting in. But before we talk about that, I'm hoping you'll introduce yourselves quickly and start with Maureen.
I'm Maureen Ortman-Fike, and I am a member of the Social Justice Committee and have been involved with this particular project since its inception, which will be 5 years in February.
Great. And Mark and Joni.
I am Joni Rubenstein, and I am a member of Tifereth Israel and also of the Social Justice Committee, but have been not involved with the Transplant House since this program began, maybe 3 years now.
And I am Mark Rubenstein, a member of Tifereth Israel and the Social Justice Committee. And I have just gotten involved with Transplant House in the last few years, but I've actually, it was a little bit before getting involved through Tifereth Israel, as I have always had a heart for the Transplant House.
And would one of you like to outline sort of what your involvement has been as a temple to date?
Maureen can do that, sure.
I can start. I look at it in two different types of projects. There's the project, the temple as a community. And that's where we come for quarterly dinners that started out as one time, and then it's grown into 5 years. The working with the committee who will bring flowers or other items for special occasions. We send, when you needed donations for your expansion, calling community, putting out information in the temple newsletter, please, if you have extra donations, and fundraising. So that's the things that we do as what I call a community. And then there are individual activities. People who have identified with that project might do special things, such as when you were renovating your now administrative offices, volunteering to paint the walls, doing shopping, grocery shopping for some of your guests, especially during COVID, when there were not quarterly meals because of COVID, maybe bringing food on their own, and then driving guests through some of the holiday lights, where an individual or two would say, oh yeah, I can do that. So that's the both sides of what we do.
Mm-hmm. And to our listening audience, those things sound so simple. And in some respects, they are simple, but they require planning and a commitment of time and patience with the fact that our guests don't necessarily know when they'll be able to jump up and do or participate in something. But you're articulating things that people would do if they were at home. You know, they would love to go and see the holiday lights, or just a simple grocery outing, or the meals that we gather together for are a sense of normalcy that our guests point to over and over again, that they made it feel like home, and how grateful they are for that sense of peace that generates. So, you know, thank you for that, for certain. Well, anything else that you would like our friends out there to know?
I would like anyone to know that the time spent at the Transplant House, you always get more than you give. It's a wonderful, warm, inviting place where people are always happy to see you and to meet you.
It's very rewarding, always just to volunteer, but to be volunteering somewhere that has so much meaning to you, it's so much more.
And the guests and their families are such an inspiration to me as an individual. who hasn't been touched by this. So I always, as Joni said, walk away with more than I could possibly give. It's that inspiration. So thank you for all that you do.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know, it does take a whole community to make it as impactful as it is. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I speak for all of our guests, past and future, that we appreciate you. You set the model for us. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Be well.
Thank you.
You too.
Hello, friends. I am with friends from the Cleveland Cooking Club, and so glad that you were willing to get together and talk to us a little bit about your involvement with the Transplant House of Cleveland for all the friends out there that are listening to us this week. And so probably important that we kick it off by letting you each introduce yourselves. So Jenny, do you want to start?
Sure, I'll start. My name is Jenny Himmelman, and I'm a resident of not too far from the Transplant House in Richmond Heights.
Right. Harlan?
Harlan Meinwald. I live in South Euclid.
And Dylan?
I'm Dylan Belcher. I live in downtown Cleveland.
Good for you. All right. Well, thank you. And I need for someone to describe to our friends what the Cleveland Cooking Club is and how it got started, and then to lead into how you found out about Transplant House. I don't even remember that connection. So, Dylan, are you sort of spearheading this? Do you want to start us off?
Yeah, I suppose I started the club. Cooking's just my hobby, and I've used Meetup before. So there wasn't a group when I got to town, so I created one. I am a terrible group organizer. But I lucked out and Harlan joined and, Jenny joined eventually. And I believe Harlan was the one who originally pointed me to Transplant House of Cleveland. And that's really how a lot of our stuff goes. I find stuff to do occasionally. My members work at least as hard as I do at finding stuff for us to do. And yeah, that's pretty much how it got started.
Mm-hmm. Well, and how lucky we are because your meetup group meets monthly and you could choose to rotate around and meet at each other's houses or some other venue, but you've chosen to cook with us. And because of our small kitchen, you do a lot of food prep at home before you come at times. But Harlan, what would you like to share about the fact that, that's a big commitment to come monthly?
Well, I think it's been about 2 years now we've been doing it, and I enjoy it. Like Dylan, I enjoy cooking, lots of different things. I think with the COVID times, I've seen the meal situation change at Transplant House. It used to be we'd bring a bunch of food in, and whoever any of the residents that wanted to come and eat would. So we'd have somewhere between kind of 8 and 20 people. And now we bring the food in and package it up and deliver it to the apartments. And because of that, everybody gets a meal all the time, each month that we do it. So it's more like 50 servings a month. So it's that much more satisfying.
Oh, that's nice of you. I thought you might say it's that much more of a burden, but that's very, yeah, it is fun to go door to door and deliver that food because sometimes our guests don't come physically to the dinner, even pre-pandemic, because they just aren't feeling well enough to come out. But when somebody brings it to your door, it's an entirely different feeling and a wonderful one. Well, I thank you again. And, I think you all are a perfect example that you took something that you love, which is cooking. You found each other through that and others. It's not just the three of you, but you've brought others, with you here. And that's been fun for us to meet new members as you gather them together. And you've turned around and taken what you love and handed it to people here who are away from home under incredible stress, too burdened to want to do the cooking for themselves most often. And it's just such a perfect match. And I express gratitude on behalf of many, many families and our staff who so enjoy the spirit you bring when you come. So thank you all. Please share that with the rest of your members. And for your sake too, I look forward to when, you know, you're all in one kitchen cooking again.
Well, we love being part of it, and I do too. So thank you, Elaine.